All right. Well, I see that it's 1 p.m. Central Time, so I'm going to go ahead and get started as folks are joining us. And I'm just going to go through some of our regular CSTP announcements. Um, First thing, welcome if you're new to CSTP. My name is Jenny Parker, and I'm the coordinator for all things CSTP related. So glad that you found our way to one of our quarterly conference calls. I'm going to pop some helpful links into the chat here if you are new, and I'll kind of go through them before I hand it over to our presenters today. The first link is to our contact information form. This just puts you on our distribution list so that this is your first time joining. We have a quarterly conference call. We have 2 networking calls every quarter, and we have a newsletter that goes out quarterly. So if you would like to get the invites to those calls and get the newsletter, you can fill out that form and you'll be added to our distribution list. And the next link is if you would like to contribute to the quarterly newsletter, host one of these conference calls, or if you just have any ideas that you'd like to see from CSTP, this form just comes to me. So it just is like a little flag in my inbox to say, hey, I've got some ideas. It's not an ironclad agreement. But if you have an article that you'd like to write for the newsletter, or if you'd like to be interviewed, I know that I see some familiar names here on the call. And I know that we've done some interviews before. And so if you want to contribute something, you have some things you want to share, but you just don't have the time to write an article, you and I can sit down on a Zoom or a Teams call, and it takes about 15 minutes, and I'll interview you, and then we can put it in the newsletter. So the next link is to our next networking call. So if you have not attended one of those, they are an excellent way to just meet other people who are working within child support training. If you have something that you're struggling with your department that you'd like to ask questions about, if there's a new software or policy or something, and you just want to ask for advice, that's a great place to do so. Or if you have something that's gone really well that you want to share with everybody, we always want to hear that too. So please join us for those networking calls. They are a lot of fun. The next 2 links are to our archives. So we have a newsletter archive and a conference call archive. So like I said, if this is one of your first times joining CSTP for anything related, and you'd like to go back and look at some of our old newsletters or our past conference calls, you can find all of them listed there. So welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have this presentation today. We're going to hear from a few different people, and I think it's going to be really great information. So glad that you all are here. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Alex.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here, Jenny. Thank you for having us. My name is Alexander Figueroa. I'm the Assistant Director of Learning and Development with the American Public Human Services Association. I know it's a mouthful, but we also go by APHSA. In my former life, I also worked in child support. And I was also an attendee of the Child Support Training Partnership. So this work that all of you do is, dear to my heart. And kind of in my role at APHSA, I always used to think about, what are we doing to kind of bring child support to the table when we talk about opportunities for learning and development. And so through our channels, through the state of Michigan, they connected me with Jenny, and, she was nice enough to, offer this opportunity for myself and my colleagues to connect with you all today. We'll take a little bit of your time to first just talk a little bit about who we are at the American Public Human Services Association. I'll then shoot it over to one of our dear colleagues, even though she doesn't work for APHSA. She is one of our co-chairs for the National Staff Development and Training Association, SDTA, Tracy Davis. And then we'll shift gears to our LMS administrator and an instructional designer at APHSA, Francesca Robinson, who will do a brief demo of our Thrive Learning Management System. So the first thing I want to do is just tell you a little bit about APHSA. We support leaders from state, county, and city human service agencies to advance the well-being of not only individuals, but also families, and as well as communities nationwide. We are a bipartisan membership association, and we work closely with our members to generate pragmatic solutions grounded in both lived experience as well as a lens for equity and belonging. Now, there's various ways that you can be engaged with APHSA, and one of the avenues that we provide for our members and even non-members is through our affinity groups. And one of our affinity groups is the National Staff Development and Training Association. I'll go ahead and I'll put in the chat the link to our APHSA website, and I'll shoot it over to our co-chair, Tracy Davis.
Thanks, Alex. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you virtually to talk to you a little bit about NSDTA. So as Alex mentioned, my name is Tracy Davis, and I'm currently serving as one of the co-chairs for NSDTA. I come to you by way of Connecticut, where I work for the Department of Children and Families, and I'm the director for our Academy for Workforce Development. Personally, I've been involved with NSDTA since 2019 and have been serving as the co-chair for maybe about a year or so. And, you know, NSDTA is near and dear to my heart in the way that it really helps to build professionals and organizational capacity in human services. So we look to bring, increase our membership for all of those who are across the human service sector, which includes you all. We have a committee of up to 20 people right now. There's 17 of us, small but mighty, and we work around the clock yearly to plan for our biggest product, which is our NSDTA educational conference, excuse me. And we are in the throes of planning for that, which will occur this October 20th through the 23rd in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So if you are interested in joining us, I encourage you to go on to the website. You'll see a lot of information about the conference, a couple of video that really highlights the fun we have, but also the work that we produce. We have so many different conference tracks that meet the needs of our membership, from curriculum development to EDIB to workforce development, research and evaluation, organizational development, and human service leadership. So it's guaranteed that those who participate in the conference will find various workshops that key into their talents and their interests and really help them as they are trying to grow as professionals in their fields. We are really working on touting ourselves as not just an affinity group that is only offers a conference. Throughout the year, we also provide showcase series for our members to participate in bi-monthly, and those series are usually presenters from the previous conference who have received positive remarks related to the workshops that they've offered. We ask them or engage with them to come back and provide additional information to our members about the work that they're doing or the topic that they discussed at the workshop. And then some of the NSDTA members also provide these showcase series as well. We have one coming up in August that focuses mainly on engaging and retaining talent in the human services field, and we have a speaker for that. And then in September, we're doing one on civility and how to treat one another in the workplace. We're also looking to bring on something in November that focuses on leadership. So there's a wealth of different topics that usually meet the needs of our members to participate in those series. I would encourage you, maybe Alex, is it okay if they email you or Francesca to find out more information about that?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. And then we're looking to expand a little bit in 2025 to learning series. So these series will focus on specific topics that don't necessarily highlight something from the conference, but more around topics that our members are interested in. So these exchanges, these learning exchanges, will occur starting in January 2025, and will focus on wellness, research, virtual training, retention and recruitment. And our committee is working at this point to kind of schedule those as well. So we offer a variety of activities outside of the conference that we encourage people to get involved in, to form networks, to form relationships. What better way of bringing together individuals in the human service sector who have an interest in training and in development to talk further about their interest and maybe bounce ideas off of one another. So if you are interested in any one of those opportunities, from the conference to the showcase series to the learning exchanges, we encourage you to let us know. We welcome you and would be honored to have you participate with us. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Tracy. So in the chat, I did put the website to APHSA, which is aphsa.org, as well as the link to access the website for this year's NSDTA conference, which is NSDTA all one word, .com. Just a couple things to add to what Tracy had shared regarding NSDTA and the education conference. The education conference is grounded around 6 tracks, and those tracks include everything from advancing equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. It includes curriculum development and facilitation, evaluation and research, human services leadership, organizational development, and also workforce development. As far as registration is concerned, registration should be opening up shortly. I'm going to probably say within the next 1 to 2 weeks, as well as there's opportunity for scholarships, to apply for a scholarship to attend our conference. The other great thing about our conference includes last year we had the opportunity to partner with University of Pittsburgh School of Social Work. Our conference was in the city of Pittsburgh, and we partnered with them for approval of continuing education credits. So we had 15 sessions that were 15 conference sessions that were submitted and approved for continuing education credits, and we had I think between 85 to 90 certificates issued out to our attendees who attended the sessions and requested for CE credits. And so that's a great opportunity. This year we're partnering with, we're trying with the New Mexico University as well as the University of New Mexico schools of social work to also get that opportunity at the conference. And then the last piece that I think that's important is we've reached out to tribal nations and tribal communities within the Albuquerque, New Mexico area to say, hey, we are going to be in your area, and kind of build that bridge and partnership with those communities as well. And so that's something that's going to be huge, not only for APHSA, but also when we think about partnering within human services. So that's all that we have so far for NSDTA. I know usually there's some questions asked at the end, but I just want to pause for 2 seconds just to see if anyone has any questions for Tracy or myself before we shift to APHSA's Thrive Learning Management System. So feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat.
How long have you guys been holding these conferences? Like how many years?
That's a great question, Andrea. Tracy, do you know offhand?
Well, I can say from the fact that NSDTA was founded in 1983, so shortly thereafter,
Yeah.
the first conferences began at that point.
Yeah, I'm going to
Mm.
say we actually have members on our executive advisory council that have been participating for maybe about 20 years. And so it's been something that has been, happening, and I would say it continues to grow, especially not only within overall structure and topics, but also participation. So right now we have everything from local, county, state representation. We have representation from academia, so different universities. We have consultants that come. We have federal partners that come. So it is an opportunity and space for not only child support, but any sector within human services to come together to kind of network and then also leverage, right, what other agencies are doing. And I think that's the great opportunity where sometimes we feel like we have a new initiative and, a lot of times we don't have to recreate the wheel. There's other things that are happening and there's resources that are free, that are people willing to share and even sharing their own experiences. I know one thing Jenny talked about was, I think a reoccurring topic might be, system modernization. And so there's a lot of opportunities where other states and other agencies are happy to kind of share the do's and the don'ts around that area. And so that's something that I think that's very exciting with this conference.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for the question. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we are going to shift now to Francesca Robinson, who is our instructional designer as well as our learning management system administrator, to do a brief demo on our LMS.
Thanks, Alex. So hi, everyone. As Alex said, my name is Francesca Robinson. I'm the lead administrator for our Thrive learning management system and an instructional designer with APHSA. So my job is all things learning management system and learning content. So for today, I am going to be walking you through, I'll give you a little bit of background information on the Thrive Learning Management System platform, and then I'm really going to be sharing my screen and walking you through a pretty in-depth demo on how you can become a learner on the platform, the kind of features and benefits that you'll find on Thrive, and then we can wrap up with any conversation or questions that you have related to the platform. So before I share my screen and get started, Thrive stands for a training hub for resources, innovation, and virtual exchange. It is APHSA's free open access learning management system. So anybody and everybody can become a learner on Thrive. That was our main goal in creating a learning management system at APHSA, was to provide an open access platform that you don't need to have a paid membership to subscribe to or to join or to access any of the awesome information inside there.
And just to clarify, you did hear right. Francesca said free. So no subscription. We're not looking for payment via credit card or, submission of an invoice. Everything that Francesca will be reviewing of our e-learning courses and our resources are free and at your fingertips.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, because even though I say that, a lot of people, they email, are you sure? Yes, it is absolutely free. And our main goal with creating this platform was to provide human services professionals resources that they can look to continue their own education, whether that be through our resource library of different toolkits, previous conference content, or with our course catalog with self-paced e-learning courses that I'll be going through. So I do encourage, when I share my screen, if you want to follow along, at least just for the sign-in process, that way, you have access to the system and you can kind of check it out on your own time later. I definitely encourage that, but this meeting is being recorded, so you could always look back at that later to sign in. So to access the learning management system, you'll go to thrive.matrixlms.com, and I'm going to put that in the chat.
I just added that to the chat feature for you.
Perfect. Already on it, Alex. Thank you.
No problem.
So once you go to that URL, this is what you'll see. You'll see a pop-up box that says login, and it has a big SSO button in the middle. You will click this button and be redirected to the APHSA website. So what's nice is if you've ever attended an APHSA conference, you already have credentials to our APHSA website and system. If you forget, if you have access to our system, you can find your account by using your email address, or if you just forgot your password, you can request your new password. But if this is the first time that you're accessing APHSA, then you can create a new account with this form on the right-hand side. So you'll just fill out your first and last name, an email address, you'll set a password. And then we do ask some demographic information, more work-related, just to give us an idea of who our learners are. That way, when we are trying to curate and create content, we understand, okay, this is who's using the platform, so let's try to get things that they're going to be interested in and can take advantage of. I'm going to pause there. Once you enter your credentials, you'll be logged into the system, and this is what you'll see. But I'm going to pause just in case anybody is following along. And if you are following along, feel free to just put a thumbs up or put something in the chat that you were able to get in. And if nobody's following along, again, that's fine too. I know sometimes I like to just absorb and listen and go back later. Okay. Well, if anybody does have any questions or anything, comments, concerns while I go through, please feel free to just come off mute or use that chat. I know I have an eye on it, and I'm sure Alex will come off mute if I'm missing something. So like I said, once you are logged into the system, this is the page that you'll see. It's your learner dashboard. It's the home screen of the LMS. This dashboard is where you'll find basically all of the information on Thrive, as well as kind of your experience as a learner on Thrive. So you'll see at the top, there is a carousel up here, and it rotates through a couple of different slides that have quick access links to high traffic areas of the LMS. So this slide has a link to enroll into our most recent course edition, which happens to be a course on best practices in project management. We also have a slide to update your profile. So this will just take you to your profile page where you can update your profile picture, your name, all things like that. There's also a quick access link to our course catalog, which has all of those self-paced e-learning courses I was talking about earlier, and that I'm going to go into more detail with in a little bit. The resource library, this is where all those free resources, the PowerPoints, conference content, all of that lives. And then the last slide is really important. It has our help desk email address. So it's thrivehelpdesk@aphsa.org. If you have any questions or experiencing any problems with Thrive, this is the email you'll want to reach out to. It's monitored by myself and Alex and a few other team members. So somebody's always kind of got their eye on it, even if people are out here and there, to definitely take advantage of that email address. Then the rest of the dashboard, if you scroll down, it's really specific to you. So this test account that I'm signed in as, these are the courses that they're enrolled in. So you're able to see all of the courses that you are taking. You're able to see a little snapshot of the interest areas in our course catalog. So we've got, EDIB, tools, frameworks, and models, leadership development. So those are kind of the buckets or categories that we have our courses in. You'll also see a little snippet of the news feed. This is really used to push out course announcements, any updates, any events that are coming up on Thrive or are Thrive related. We like to put in the news feed, and then you get a notification just letting you know, hey, this is what's new on the platform. You'll also see what groups you're a part of. We call these online learning communities. I'll go into detail about what those are and how you can access them in a little bit. But again, this just gives you an overview. And then lastly, any awards you've received. So anytime you complete a course, you get a certificate of completion and a little awards badge just as proof of completion. Any questions on the dashboard or logging in? And I see there's a couple messages in the chat, so I'm just going to check those too.
So we had one question from Patricia asking are CEUs offered through Thrive? And my response was that we're currently in the process of working with an organization to get our e-learning course content approved not only for CEUs, but also CLEs. I will say I had mentioned about ways of engaging with APHSA. One of our affinity groups is the Public Human Services Attorneys. And so they also host an annual conference. And so they will be working with us closely to getting a lot of those conference sessions CLE approved, so people can access those, that content that can't attend the conference.
Yes, thank you, Alex. So now I'm gonna essentially show you the main, on the left-hand side, this is the left navigation bar. It's the main way to access everything on the LMS, and these are all of the main features of Thrive. So I'll break down each tab, and we'll go into each tab and be able to see what's inside. So starting with I'm gonna start from the bottom up, actually. So starting with the resources tab, if you hover over these tabs, you'll see that some pop-ups come out. This just shows you what the options are for each tab. So with the resources tab, there's two sections. There's a business section and a catalog section, and they hold the same content. It's just kind of displayed differently. So the business tab, if you click onto that, it's set up very similarly to SharePoint. This section is kind of best used when you're just looking to browse through the different resources we offer. I recommend always starting in this section if it's your first time visiting Thrive, because everything is broken down into different interest areas and then further broken down into type of resource. So for example, if you're interested in child welfare, you go into child welfare, and then you'll be able to see any policy briefs, any webinar sessions, comment letters, microlearning videos, toolkits, infographics, journals, any of those resources that are specifically related to child welfare. And you could do that for any of the categories. And then we also have previous APHSA hosted conference content and APHSA webinar content that we've hosted. The catalog section is a little bit different. It has all of the same resources, but they're just displayed in one giant alphabetized list. But the benefit of this section is this search bar right here. So same thing, if you're interested in child welfare, maybe I like to use Snap as an example because I know we have a good bit of resources on Snap. You can type in what you're interested in learning about into the search bar, hit enter, and then any resources that we have will come up for you. So this is nice when you kind of know what you're looking for. Like I said, I knew I wanted to find something on Snap, so I was able to just go to the search bar and search it that way. Something that we take a lot of pride in this resource section is the work we've put into taxonomy identification labels. So the taxonomy is what allows this search bar to work. So we've labeled all of our resources with different tags to make them searchable. So even if, like, let's say Snap isn't in the title of the resource, it'll still come up because it's still Snap related because we've tagged it as such on the back end. So just something to point out that we do, so that way you're able to get the most out of the search bar. And I see a couple in the chat. Let me just...
Francesca, one of the questions is Thrive a homegrown LMS, open source, or vendor LMS that we customize? I shared that the vendor was Cipher Learning, and we worked with them to customize it to meet the needs of our organization as well as of our members. I don't know if you would like to add anything around our experience working with Cipher Learning.
Yeah, Cipher Learning is the vendor we used. As Alex said, they've been really great. One of the reasons why we went with them as a vendor is because the site is fully customizable. So we are able to brand and market all of the colors, the text to kind of match APHSA's overall look and feel. So yeah, they've been a really good vendor to work with.
And I will say they continue to reach out to us based on enhancements that are happening on kind of that prototype learning management system. And so we continue to kind of hear the latest and greatest of what's happening. And then, as anything else, we kind of look at what's within the scope of our agreement with Cipher Learning that we can incorporate and they can push over. And then we also then look at what's an additional cost, and then what would that cost look like if we were to include that within our LMS.
Yeah. And then I see Kate's question on who creates the training included in the catalog. That is the next section, so I will answer that right now. So the other main, I guess the big three benefits of Thrive are our resource library, our course catalog, and our groups tab for our online learning communities. So we just went over the resources. The catalog has all of our self-paced e-learning courses that I mentioned earlier. Right now, all of the courses on here, the NICE courses were created and developed by internal APHSA staff members. So right now we have the subject matter experts in-house. I myself am the instructional designer, so we go in and we work together to create the product, and then it gets launched onto Thrive. One of our goals, and something that we will be launching shortly, are several courses using external subject matter experts. So that's something that I want to just throw out there. If you are interested in creating a course that you want to see be on Thrive and be kind of publicly accessible, we are always taking requests. So I hope that answered your question, Kate.
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing that's on our radar for this current calendar year. Our goal is to expand our repository of external subject matter experts, because I know there's many out there, right, with that knowledge and expertise. And so, as Francesca mentioned, we continuously not only look at our data that comes back from our surveys at the end of each of our e-learning courses, but, based in our experience in networking at conferences and really kind of hearing who are like kind of leads in specific topic areas to, kind of extend the olive branch and say, hey, here's an opportunity for you to author a course. And, of course, unfortunately, it's not a paid opportunity. It is a volunteer, but it is an opportunity for you to author, some curriculum. And so far we've gotten a few that have already kind of expressed their interest. We have, I think, maybe one or two that are currently in development. And then when we think about partnerships, we're also partnering with the organization called Ascend or even Aspen Institute around the 2Gen approach. And then some other opportunities where there's kind of like that niche of where only, there's only a few people that have that expertise. So I'm with Francesca 200%. If one of you are interested in, either authoring or co-authoring an e-learning course, feel free to, reach out to one of us.
Yeah, thank you. While I'm here, I'll just kind of break down how our catalog is structured. So similar to the business section of the resources library, it's structured based off of interest area. So, I mean, you could see all of our courses in one big list through the all courses folder, but then we just break them down into interest area. So we have a couple on Thrive demonstrations. So if you didn't want to watch this whole recording, you can just go in here and check out some of those classes. It goes over the three main aspects. So the courses, the resource library, and the online learning communities. We have a few on getting to know APHSA as an organization, if you're interested in that. And then, of course, we have courses on EDIB. We've got a couple different courses on different tools, frameworks, and models in the human services sector. We've got leadership development courses, coaching courses. The NICE folder is specific to NICE users, but we also have professional development classes that we offer as well. I'm going to open up one of these folders, just the tools, frameworks, and models folder, just to show you. So when you kind of open it up, this course actually just launched today, so I'm going to use it as an example. But it's an opportunity ecosystem toolkit, social and economic mobility assessment course. So you'll be able to see the title, you'll get a short description. If you read this description and say, yeah, that sounds interesting to me, I want to take a course on that, you can just click into it. It'll re-give you that course description. It'll even give a recommended audience. This is a short micro-learning video, but some of our other courses will include estimated time for completion and learning objectives as well. So this will kind of give you all the information you need to know about the course. You read all of it and you say, yep, this is for me. You can hit the enroll button. And then it'll take you into the course. You hit the start button and you're good to go. Like I said, once you're completed with the course, you'll get notification that you're enrolled. But once you're completed with the course, you'll get that certificate of completion. Something I want to note about all of our courses is that you'll notice here it says 2 sections. Section 1 is the course content. So that's that social and economic mobility assessment content that this course has. Section 2 is a satisfaction survey, and this is required to be completed. It's only like 5 questions. It's super fast, but this just gives us information on what you liked about the course, what you didn't like about the course, ways we can improve our offerings. And then arguably the most important question is, what do you want to see next? So that's the last question of the survey, is what topics are you interested in learning about that we could then take into consideration when we're curating content? So I just like to throw that out there because we are big on continuous quality improvement. So that survey and that question specifically definitely help us with that effort.
Absolutely. And, one of the things Francesca does, she leads a quarterly data meeting with our executive leadership to kind of review the findings from the survey, and which is part of our CQI process, just to kind of make sure we're, number one, hitting the mark with our existing curriculum and content, and then number two, really kind of looking at, some of the suggestions that our learners are, sharing regarding additional topics.
So that is courses. Any questions about accessing the course catalog, enrolling into courses, anything like that? And again, these are all self-paced, so none of them have a formal instructor or meet on a specific day or time. They are all self-paced on your own time. And I think for the most part, they're all roughly 30 minutes, some less. We have a few launching that'll be a little bit longer, but that time will typically be in the description. Okay. Well, then I will go back to the home screen, and then I will go into the groups tab, into this catalog, to show you all of our online learning communities. So these communities right now, they're all private spaces where specific groups can share resources, engage in dialogue back and forth through a variety of forums, upload resources to a private, smaller resource library that just the online learning community has access to. Like I said, all of our groups right now are private, so therefore like these specific groups. But we are looking to add some public, open access online learning communities in the coming months on various topics. I know we're tossing around potentially opening one up for artificial intelligence, since that is such a huge topic of discussion for our work. So that could be coming soon. But a benefit of these groups, for example, if this meeting right now, right, that archive that you guys have, all of the submitting links to the submittal forms, could all be in an online learning community, and you can kind of just continue the conversation outside of quarterly Zoom meetings. So it gives people a space to go to continue that conversation, to resource share, and just as a kind of one-stop shop for all of your materials. So that's definitely, like I said, the third of our big 3 features. Any questions on online learning communities?
I have a quick question. Can you hear me, Francesca? Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's available in the online learning committee? I mean, communities. I'm assuming, are there like discussion boards and a place to share materials?
So each online learning community is set up a little bit differently. They're fully customizable, so each community may take advantage of different features, but in general, the features do include a resource library. So this is something that only the online learning community members have access to, and you can upload meeting notes, meeting recordings, any kind of resource that you want just your group to have access to. Something else that's nice about the online learning community is that the members can also add to that. So it's not always on the administrator, right, to come up with the content and to add it to one place. So it can be a collaborative effort to share resources within that group. They also have forums or discussion boards, so you can pose questions, you can have people respond, and it kind of keeps everything in one threaded discussion. I know for me, sometimes after a Zoom meeting, I'm trying to like go back through the chat and see, okay, who asked what question, what was answered. So the forums definitely keep things a little bit more organized because it's broken down into that threaded discussion format. And then you can look back at it a week later, a month later, a year later, and still see, okay, on July 25th, Alex said this and Francesca responded with these 3 things. So that's definitely a huge feature that people take advantage of. You can also have a private calendar. So if you wanted to have all of your meetings on a calendar that you can link to then your Outlook calendar, you can have that as well. You can have your own news feed. So again, if there's any, hey, this group might be interested in this webinar that so-and-so is hosting, you can advertise that kind of stuff into the group through the private news feed. So it's almost like a mini LMS, just in one kind of tiny group, minus the course feature. So you could have resources, those discussion boards, news feed. Trying to think, I think that's, yeah, those are the main features that the online learning communities offer.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. And same with the courses. So if you wanted to create an online learning community for a group that you're doing work with, please just reach out to Alex and myself, and we'd be happy to help get that set up for you. Alex, was there anything that you wanted to add for online learning communities?
No, I think you covered everything.
Awesome. So yeah, so our overall goal, like I said in the beginning for this platform, is to really just have an easily accessible set of resources for human services professionals that they can go to and have free access to. I also wanted to share that on August 5th from 2 to 3 Eastern time, Alex and I are going to be doing a little bit more in-depth demo and interactive demo of the Thrive platform in a webinar. I'm going to put the registration link in the chat if any of you are interested in attending. Some of it'll be repeat information, but what's nice about these opportunities, we host them quarterly, and it really just opens up the floor for people to come in and share how they are taking advantage of Thrive, how their organization is using the platform, and really just provide feedback and bounce ideas off of other attendees on how they're using the platform or how they want to use the platform. So it's definitely interactive and educational all around to see how people are using the content and taking advantage of the resource. And I will turn it back over to Alex.
Perfect. Thanks, Francesca. Just one other quick note regarding some upcoming curriculum and content that we'll be doing. We have it's actually live now. Best practices in project management, currently live and available in our catalog. We also are having Coaching 102 on our radar for this quarter. Prior to September, we have Change Readiness, Intelligence, workforce wellness. We have another course around ethics, data-informed decision-making, active listening, talent management, succession planning, and performance management. And those 3 are kind of a deeper dive. So currently right now we have kind of that 100 level series for talent management, succession planning, and performance management. The second round will be a deeper dive. And then in 4th quarter, we'll add a 3rd level, which would be more scenario-based, kind of that practical piece where it will kind of have you apply those theories and frameworks in those areas to kind of some work scenarios. So that's our Thrive Learning Management System. I want to kind of just open it up. Any additional questions, even on Tracy Davis's presentation around NSDTA and becoming a member and engaging in that space as well. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over back to Jenny.
Yeah, thank you both and Tracy as well. This was an excellent presentation. I'm so glad that you were able to come and share these resources. Just as a follow-up, if you joined a little bit later and you didn't get the links at the beginning, I'm popping in those CSTP links, and I'll make sure to provide some of the resources on the Thrive LMS system after today's call. I can have those attached in our newsletter as well. But if you do have any questions that you think of later, And if you are not able to remember Alex or Francesca's email, you can always send me an email and I will make sure to get you in touch with them. I know that I can be guilty of thinking of a question later on, so don't hesitate to reach out and I can definitely put you in touch with them. So thank you all so much for being here at this conference call today. And thank you so much to our presenters. That was a ton of excellent, helpful information. So I know that people will appreciate that. But yeah,
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye.